Hyvää iltaa ja tervetuloa. It's time for talviolympialaiset, which means it's time for a lot of Finnish names all over the place. Now, English speakers tend to be a little frightened by Finnish names. They're often long. They have unexpected combinations of letters. They have double letters all over the place. The cumulative effect is like a moottoripyöräonnettomuus. But actually, Finnish names aren't really all that hard for the average English speaker to get right. Many times when we try them, we get it close enough on the first go. Other times, we make simple mistakes that if we fixed, we would be as close as anybody could reasonably expect us to get. So I'm going to give you 4 simple tips on how to say Finnish names for the people who actually care about trying to get it as close as possible. If you don't care, you can switch off, go watch another video. I don't care. There's lots of cat videos. Tip number 1, stress first. Always put the stress on the first syllable. This is the number 1 rule to remember. If you remember this, you can pretty much forget the other ones and you'll still be coming close enough most of the time. So if you see a name that looks like it should be Kaukonen, no, Kaukonen. Always remember that. Stress on the first syllable. Tip 2, every letter sounds the same everywhere. Now, realistically, if you're actually learning to speak Finnish in any sort of quasi-fluent way, you will discover that there are slight variations. But for an English speaker just trying to get the Finnish name down, every letter sounds the same everywhere. Wherever you see it, say the same darn thing. Tip 3, when you see 2 of a letter, in other words, a double letter, just hold that letter twice as long. It doesn't have to be exactly twice as long, but, you know, close enough. So take, for instance, popular Finnish girl's name, Lisa. Now, in English, we spell that L-I-S-A. But in Finnish, if you spell it that way, it will be Lisa. They don't want to say Lisa. They want to say Lisa. So L-I-I-S-A. Hear the difference? Lisa, Lisa. Tip 4, this is a big one. Finnish has a thing called vowel harmony. Now by that I do not mean rypätä, rypätä, rypätä. No, vowel harmony means that Finnish has 2 sets of vowels, and in any given word, or in a compound word, any given root, it will use one or the other of those sets or neutral vowels. It doesn't mix them. It's got a back set and a front set and then neutral vowels. Now, the neutral vowels are easy. They're the letter I, pronounced E, and the letter E, pronounced A. By the way, if you find it weird that the letter we call I is pronounced E in every other language and the letter we call E is pronounced A in every other language, that's English's fault. That's a weird thing we did a half a millennium ago called the Great Vowel Shift. It's nobody else's fault. That's our weirdness. Anyway, to the vowel harmony, the back set are the letters U, O, and A, and they're pronounced U, O, A. You are not going to have any trouble with those. Just remember the A is A. The front set is where things get weird and where people tend to get things screwed up. The front set is U, Ö, and A. The U is the letter Y. Why? Just because. In German, it's spelled U with 2 dots on it, but this isn't German. It's not even related to German. It's Finnish. So, if you see a name like, for instance, the name of a very popular ski jumper from the 1988 Winter Olympics, Matti Nykänen, American broadcast journalists tended to say Nykänen, which is just way off. Canadian ones tended to say Nykänen. That's also not right because that would be the letter U. The closest you could come as an English speaker if you didn't want to say Nykänen would be Nykänen. That's really close enough for any decent work. So, if you see Y, you think ew. Y, ew. Y, ew. Y, ew. Now, the O with the 2 dots on it, those 2 dots for the fussy people are not an umlaut. No, that's correct. They do not represent the phonological process of umlaut. It's just the vowel harmony thing. It's really a diaeresis, but I like to think of it as a little crown, isn't it? It's just like festive and stuff. Maybe laurels from the Olympics or something. Anyway, O with 2 dots is Ö, same as in German, even though Finnish is not related to German. So if you can't say Ö as in Danke schön, well then you can get close enough with Ö. So the Finnish word for night is spelt Y-O with the 2 dots. And that probably looks to you like it should be yo. Hey, yo, it's night. No, I'm sorry, it's Ö. Ö. If you ever have to say that as an English speaker, just say Ö. And that's not really that great, but you know, they'll just assume you're drunk. I don't know. Now, the A with the 2 dots is a different trick. If you know German, you know that A with 2 dots stands for or E. On the other hand, if you learned your English pronunciation from something like the Thorndike Barnhart School Dictionary, that A with 2 dots stood for A as in father, but it's neither of those. A with 2 dots in Finnish stands for A. That's right, ah, that sound that English speakers tend to make when they should really be saying ah. Well, in this case, if you see A in Finnish, you say ah, but if you see A with the crown on it, it's ah. So, straightforward, U, ah, or U, ah. Got all that? Now let's practice a little bit with some Finnish Olympians' names. Let's try the names of the members of the Olympic Finnish ski jumping team. First in a Finnish pronunciation, and then the way you might slip into an English conversation.
Antti Aalto,
Antti Aalto,
Janne Ahonen,
Janne Ahonen,
Andreas Alamommo,
Andreas Alamommo,
Jarkko Määttä,
Jarkko Määttä,
Eetu Nousianen,
Eetu Nousianen,
Kykkänen.
Kykkänen. Now let's try a couple of hockey players. The first one actually played in the NHL for a season with the Philadelphia Flyers, so you might have heard an announcer say his name sometime. But if you did, you probably heard them put the stress on the wrong syllable. They would have said Mika Pyörälä or Mika Pyörälä. No, in the Finnish it's
Mika Pyörälä.
But if you say Mika Pyörälä, you're going to be close enough for English work, whatever. The other one is a women's goaltender, and she hasn't played in the NHL, obviously, but she has played in North America, Europe, now she's in China, and her name in Finnish is said
Noora Räty.
The funny thing about this one is, if you hear English speakers, English sportscasters say her name, there's a pretty good chance they'll say Räty. The funny thing about that is it's not a double T. They're actually making a double letter for a switch when they don't have to. It's just Räty. Noora Räty. Got all that? Okay, so let's run those 4 down again. Stress first. Every letter sounds the same everywhere. Double letters hold twice as long. And then there's the vowel harmony, the front letters U, A, or U, A. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.